This right here is a stone sphere, and more specifically, a stone sphere that we made right here a little over a year ago. Now, this is Rob, and this is Minerals in Motion, your sphering shop, and that's what we made last time. And this is a piece of Picasso marble, and I love it. Okay, so before doing the video with you here, I wasn't really a big sphere guy, I guess you could say, and I get it now. Like, this is pretty cool to have because it's like sitting there near my window, and you pick it up, and you're like, oh, this is pretty awesome. Like, spheres have a cool feel to them. That's kind of a hard thing to describe if you haven't had a perfect stone sphere. They like hit a button. They hit a button, and especially in somebody that's not a rock person. You hand this to somebody versus a normal just rough rock. This does a thing for that person. Yeah, and it also gives that 360-degree view of the entire material, all the the banding, especially with this Picasso marble, the banding, the colors, it shows the whole thing versus just a flat side of it. Yeah, it's a very enjoyable thing to own. And, well, I now have two spheres, well, sort of. Hopefully at the end of today we're going to have two spheres. And that's this right here. I was at my local rock club, which is the Southern Utah Rock Club, and I won the raffle. And I won this, which is a piece of lapis that has been sphered. Well, it's roundish. It has a large number of flat spots on it. A lot of flat spots. It actually has a somewhat of an egg shape to it almost. And it does not do the same thing when you pick it up and feel it. Now, in this video clip right here, you're seeing this harsh light rolling across the surface, and on the marble, it's like a pinpoint. It's solid and doesn't move much. And this one, it's like bouncing around and pulsing. And that's because you're seeing the flat spots on this. And you can really feel them in the hand. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Visual and touch. So we are going to remedy that today. Now, if you didn't already see, we have a full long form video on the whole sphering process. Long video. Going from rough rock to finished product. We're not doing that today, but you should definitely go watch that. And we're going to skip that because we already have something that can go in a sphere machine, right? Oh, absolutely. So this is a beautiful piece of lapis. Excuse me. The material is really good. There's nothing wrong with getting something like this if you can get somebody to fix it. I mean, I can't let this sit on a stand. But the material is beautiful, and usually the price is right on these. They get the material cheap, and they have cheap labor that makes them, so they're able to press them out pretty quickly. But you think that was made by hand? This was absolutely made by hand. Which, that's kind of impressive in its own way. I haven't tried this. Have you ever tried to make one by hand? No, I know several people that have. I've watched videos of friends and other companies that have tried to make these. They realize that it's pretty difficult process. Shortly after, they end up buying some kind of small sphere machine because this is a good starting point, especially if you're getting into sphere making. The hard part, I always say, is getting that initial preform. Something that you can actually work with. So if you bought something like this, you had a cheap little sphere machine, you could actually just use your cups and finish it out, make it round, and make it the way you want it. Well, so correct me if I'm wrong here. You kind of have three services that you offer where you buy rough rock and make spheres and sell them. Correct. Somebody can bring you rough rock and you'll make a sphere out of that for that person. Correct. And then what we're doing here, which is I showed up with this lumpy ball and he's got to fix it. Yes. So yeah, I have quite a few spheres like this that are shipped to me or dropped off that I do fix. So actually at the same time, example, we're going to be running this one at the same time. Beautiful little septarian, but same sort of process. It actually looks like it's been spray coated also to give it a polish instead of it being polished. I was going to say, it's very glossy. Yeah, it's glossy and the gloss is uneven. So let's talk about what you're kind of looking for when you buy these spheres that are like this from overseas.
there's three major things that they do to these that rather than do it right, they'll do it easy and cheaper and quicker for them. So they'll use fillers in them. They'll use some of the dust from the material with some glue, fill in chips and cracks rather than grind them out or take them out. They'll use dyes on them. Often these lapis are very dyed.
I hope this one's not.
I don't think this one is. Yeah, I think this one's pretty good. And the other thing they do is, like we were saying with the Septarian here, is they just spray it with a varnish. In fact, I can see a drip mark. They'll just spray it rather than polish it, because Septarian can be difficult to polish. It's mud. And it takes a uneven polish. Some of it actually polishes, some of it doesn't. But that's natural rock. So I like the natural rock. I don't like to alter it at all.
I have had a heck of a time polishing my Septarian nodules.
Yeah.
It's exercise in frustration.
It's hard to polish mud.
Yeah. What else? How would a person check for that? Because you're talking about like dyes, glues, fillers. Like if you're at a rock show and there's that big white box dealer with 2,000 of these. Mm-hmm. Do you have any tips? I mean, you said that one over there had a drip. Obviously, if it has a drip mark, like a run in paint, kind of, but
yeah,
that's a dead giveaway.
So with the Septarian, we were saying that it's hard to get a polish on all of it. Mm-hmm. Some of it does polish, some of it does not polish. So if you see like a nice even polish like that, chances are it's been sprayed. If it's a material that's mixed like that, when it's fairly a solid piece like this, it's kind of hard to see that varnish. Quite often you can see drips in it, or there'll be a spot they didn't spray as well because it's on the bottom or underneath or something. For fillers, fillers is just a visual inspection. You're going to see that there might be a little inconsistent spot, that maybe a little triangle shape that's in there or something that doesn't quite look like the rest of it. It's not going to hurt it. It's not a big deal. It does make it a little bit more challenging for me to fix because that filler might want to come out, or, I might want to try and remove the entire thing depending on how big it is. And then the hardest one to try and determine for me is it dyed? So best thing about that is know your material. If you're buying a piece of lapis, you should see pyrite and stuff through it. If this was more solid blue, or you're missing the white banding in it, it's probably been dyed a little bit. Not too common with lapis. It does occur, but the agates and everything, you just have to know your material. It's really not easy to find that unless you know that that Malawi agate doesn't come in fuchsia. So
I think I agree with the learning of the material. Even if you're new, even just Google images can start to show you, like, you'll see a trend of what lapis kind of looks like.
Absolutely.
And you can kind of start to learn some things like that. So when you are at these shows, you can buy more as an educated buyer versus just pretty rock.
Yeah. I mean, don't hesitate when you're at that booth and you're looking at something you want to buy to walk away. Open up Google and look at what they look like to make sure you're actually buying what you think you're buying.
Well, speaking of spheres, I see that there's a bench over here of some very nice spheres. So maybe before we start trying to save this thing, can we look at what you have over here?
Yes, absolutely. So the last video we did, I noticed a lot of comments. Where's his personal collection? Where's his personal collection? I couldn't bring them all out, but I brought out 6, that I cherish pretty much.
Right, they look pretty good. Let's look at these.
Yes.
So these are part of your personal collection here. And what are we looking at?
All right. Well, from right to left, this is Polish flint, from obviously out of Poland. I love Polish flint. It's getting really difficult to find, but takes an amazing polish. Next we have nice, beautiful piece of Gary Green. Also known as Larsenite, also known as Freedom Jasper, and I think there's actually another also known as, but we'll stick with Gary Green for now.
That makes for a long label.
That does make for a long label, yeah. One of my absolute favorites is this beautiful canyon rim thunder egg. So this is the inside of a thunder egg. You can see all the different mud rhyolite patterns, little stalactites in the cavity in the inside of the egg. Captured that perfectly.
That also seems a little scary to sphere going over the voids.
Yeah, they can be. This void wasn't huge. Well, it is if you actually can see into the rock, but yeah, I've done quite a few. I have a few videos where I experimented recently with filling it with wax to polish it because I had such a huge void in it, and it actually turned out amazing.
So we got 3 more. These ones are very impressive, by the way.
Thank you.
It seems slightly, I guess, yeah, I know you said filling with wax, but like running that in the sphere machine definitely must feel, you worry about it chipping out?
No, in fact, can you grab me one of those gold cups? No, in fact, the way that these cups are designed, they end up getting a nice taper on the inside of the tips on them. So when it's actually on the sphere itself, those ride right over the top of it. So it doesn't catch. Initially, when it's still slightly rough, you do worry about it. This is the wrong size cup, so it's not working well. But yeah, initially when it first starts out, you worry about it catching a corner, wanting to rip that piece out. But anyways, this is a piece of golden widowmaker plume out of Oregon. This was a very thin seam until the miner got to a certain spot, and then it opened up big enough for 3, and I actually made one 3.5 inch sphere out of this. Another one of mine, and we're talking about varying polishes. This is Indian paint out of Death Valley. No longer allowed to be collected. It's all now protected land. But you can see that some of it has a matte finish. You got the banding running through it that polishes beautifully. Very messy stuff to play with though. And then finally, a chunk of Australian chromium chalcedony. You can see again, matte finish, polish finish. But yeah, so those are 6 out of my collection. I thought I had to show a few at least.
I think out of the 6, the stuff from Death Valley.
Oh,
I love that.
It's one of my top 5 favorite spheres.
So when you said it was messy, you mean it's just like muddy water coming off of it because it's kind of on the softer side?
Oh, it's very soft. Yeah, and it is muddy water. And, you know, they named it Indian paint. From what I'm told, it was actually used by Native Americans to paint their faces. They'd grind it up and put it on. And it does stain and hold pretty well. So I believe that story. Yeah, but it's just a black, muddy mess, but very difficult material to find.
Well, the end results make it all worth it.
Right? Oh, yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Yep.
So this here is the sphere machine in question today. And you can see we got my ball of lapis in there. And for anybody that's new to this whole world, could you explain it in like what's the elevator pitch on this machine here?
All right, so the Reader's Digest version, because there are other videos out there. It's a 3-head high-speed sphere machine from Highland Park. The concept is
3 motors, right?
Yep, 3 motors, all adjustable as far as rotating the heads in and out for different size spheres. Bungee cord tension. And I said it before, it seems kind of primitive, but it actually is a very effective system for holding them all together and giving it room to bounce a little bit, because initially the ball, till it gets around, will want to move a little bit. Water drip system, not so much for heat, just to cut down on dust and get rid of this mud. 3 half horsepower motors. It is a beast of a machine. It is high speed, which you'll see here shortly. But the diamond segmented tips on each of the cups are going to do all the work. This is the 80 grit cup. There's 8 different stages, and we're going to work our way all the way up to 8,000 grit.
What do you think this is like grit-wise right now?
That's probably close to about 3,500.
Okay.
So let's get the water going a little bit here, because we are going to make a blue muddy mess. Lapis is very muddy, very messy muddy.
I've done some intarsia work with lapis, and I agree.
All right, so we're going to run it only for about 45 seconds so that we can show what it looks like after a little bit. The polished spots will be the low spots, and the rough spots will be where we're working its way down and grinding it down. Let's get to it. All right, clearly not round yet, but let me go rinse it off so we can see what it looks like. All right, so after that 40, 45 seconds, you can already see.
Oh yeah, you can really see. So it's only grinding on the high spots.
Only grinding on the high spots till we get rid of all that. This is going to be a really big low spot right here. So
I guess for some people, the size of the sphere matters a lot. But I think for me, I want to be able to pick it up and it feels like a ball bearing.
okay,
Like that's like my important part. So taking these and regrinding them, they do get smaller.
They will get smaller, and it depends on how much that flat spot is. This one will probably lose about 1/4 of an inch total. But
I think that's
it's worth it.
That's worth it, right?
It is absolutely worth it. Yeah, yeah. And as far as size-wise for customers or sphere collectors, it's 50-50. Some want them as big as they can get them, and then I got people that just want to see marbles.
I guess in the perfect world, you have a giant sphere that's also perfect.
Yeah, exactly.
But
yeah.
now that it's really, really dry, you can really see that. That's crazy. Like you could feel it, you could see it with the light, but seeing it like that, you're like, oh no, that was really done by hand and not on a machine.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, some overseas places will use almost like my cups, a steel cup, and then they'll just rotate it around, and they'll do a pretty good job at it. This one was clearly done by hand, though. Yeah, not by any kind of machinery other than the polishing machines.
So more 80 grit.
More 80 grit. We're gonna let it run. It'll probably take about 5 minutes to get this down. All right, we won't actually wash it off, but we're at about the 3-minute mark.
You can kind of see the dark spots.
Yep, still polished in those spots. It's wet, so it all looks polished, but that's that big low spot we have to get on both sides. This is why it looked like an egg.
So you are using your spray bottle some.
Yes.
And is that just because the dripper's not enough, or is it?
No, I'm just rinsing it off so I can see where it's at. The dripper's fine. It does exactly what it needs to do. I'm just visually inspecting it myself so I can see where we're at on it.
One thing that came up after the last video was a lot of people were under the impression that sphere making was like a hands-off operation. And I guess I also slightly thought that. And then when I watch you work on these, you're just like, you're there and like staring at the thing. Is that kind of the norm? Like you want... is the fear over grinding? Something happening?
No. So for this, since we're correcting the rock, I like to just monitor it. I could actually just leave this here and come back to it in 5 minutes. But I don't want to grind it down more than I have to. I want it to be. I like a bigger sphere, so I like it to be just where it needs to be. I could just let this run. I don't have any fears of this chipping or breaking. Sometimes they do. Ones with the voids or the vugs. You do want to monitor that, because if the rock does break, your cups are going to come together. All your teeth are going to shear off. So you want to stop it immediately. So initially you have to monitor it. Once you start to get it to where it's round and you're just taking out little imperfections, you can leave it. It's not this intensive as it looks here.
Like the later grits.
Oh, the later grits?
Yeah.
You don't have to monitor those at all. All you're worried about in those grits is making sure you have a random rotation in the cup, because if it gets stuck in one spot, it's gonna, wear it down in that one spot. So, yeah, that's the only reason you really want to watch it now and then. All right, so we just have probably a couple more minutes on this one.
Nice.
We'll move on to the next cups.
Lapis has a smell. It does have a smell, doesn't it? I think it does.
It does.
I also like that I'm contributing to the shop colors down here a little bit. Because some of it, we're going to go up the grits like you would in normal lapidary work, right? Like,
yep, just like a cabbing machine or flat lap. Yeah.
So there's going to be more coming out of it in the first, well, I guess all of them are technically,
yes.
But you're just making, at what point with this do we just stop making smaller and
I'd say the next cup is 220 grit. I would say after that you're not grinding out anymore. All you're doing is removing scratches, so you're not really losing size. Technically, yes, but no, it's not. I mean, no, it's not noticeable. So you wouldn't want to have like a little spot you missed and try to get it out at a later spot.
But we're thinking no fillers and no dyes, right?
Nope, I don't see any. So we'll get her cleaned up, change out the cups, and we'll move on to the next step.
That'd be a little heartbreaking if we found a bunch of filler in it.
You won it.
So you're working on this one that's septarian. You just did some 80 grit on this.
Yep, just like the lapis, we did the 80 grit on this to make it round also. And as you can see, this one actually has a little filler piece. They actually took a chunk that broke off, or they cut, probably glued it in there. But that's kind of what you're looking for. It said that little triangle. Really, it's always a little triangle shape for some reason.
It really stands out. Like now that you mentioned, like, oh, it's like a little triangle. And after you removed that coating, yeah, like that is an obvious addition.
Yep. You can see where the black banding is all of a sudden cut off.
Yeah.
Where it broke out and it doesn't match the rest of it.
Interesting.
Still a beautiful sphere, beautiful material. But
I think I would have caught the drip in the coating, but I don't know if I would have caught that.
I didn't see this until we removed the coating. So they did a pretty good job on it with the coating.
So
but
you're going to keep that in there, the filler then?
Yeah, because I don't know how deep that goes.
True.
And septarian material is known to chip like that, so I could always have another piece chip out later. So I'm gonna leave that in there. That could go down, a half an inch. Who knows? And septarian's one of those things that you don't want to have it as a marble, because then you kind of start losing all its pattern and stuff.
Yeah, they got to be big so you can see it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's some materials that, look beautiful small, but then there's some materials that don't, because then you might end up with just a rhyolite.
Yeah, you could just have like a little brown mud portion as the core.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
If somebody wants to maybe get a hold of you, mineralmotions.net.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep. Or email mineralsinmotion@yahoo.com, or through my Shopify page, which is mineralsinmotion.net.
There's also going to be links down in the description box to everything. You should go follow this guy on Facebook and Instagram.
I would appreciate the followers.
Because also just like lots of like sphere candy pictures get posted.
Oh yeah. I like to show unusual rocks, unusual spheres. I try to challenge myself with different things. So it's not all the usual same old. I always try to just show unique stuff.
Of which there's so much unique stuff in here.
Plenty.
You definitely have one of the coolest shops just to like peruse and be like, what do we have here? Very cool stuff.
That is a beautiful, was a 32-pound piece of Indonesian copper chalcedony, chrysocolla.
Is there going to be a sphere of that?
Yes. I showed the chunk the other day on my page. I will be showing the sphere as I make it, of course. Sphere is already accounted for. It's for a customer. But yeah, I can't wait to do that one. So, but it's got to wait its turn.
That alone is worth giving this guy a follow for. That one sphere picture that's coming. So we've now switched to cups with pads. So it's not like a centered metal piece, and it's so silent.
Yes.
Like we can talk.
Much quieter now, yes.
And what grit is this?
We're starting off 400. So it goes from a 400 grit metal cup, diamond tip metal cut, to a 400 grit polished pad.
And then we're gonna go up to 8,000. Is that what you said?
On this one, we actually only go to 3,500. These are a different design.
Man, that blue is popping. I really like the way lapis looks. I love that.
It's a good one.
Now, it is wet.
It is wet, yep.
But that looks I mean, if you just look at your lights, your overhead lights on that,
Yeah.
it's not dancing around at all.
Except for the water that's on it. It's causing a little bit. Here, a little dry spot there.
Oh, Rob. That's like a day and night difference. Oh my gosh. It's like a ball bearing.
Even the polish is better than the varnish gave it. if it had a spray.
That is so like the color's deeper, like everything about that is better.
Yeah, that's pretty. It's got some nice coloring through it. Not just the blue and the pyrite. It's got some yellows or golds or
That's an impressive.
I like that ring of pyrite. That's
yeah, I like the ring too. That's an impressive 3,500 grit, right?
3,500 with these cups, yes.
And it's just we skipped a bunch of the stages because there's a whole bunch of grits. But you guys, your regular viewers here, you know what's up. Like you go through the stages, you take it out. You were washing it between the stages. And then
Correct.
Looking and being like, okay, are you ready to move on?
Yeah, so I wash it. It's like cabbing, I always say. I don't understand totally the reason for it, but somebody says do it for cab, so I do it for the spheres. If there's any grit or any slurry, obviously there's no slurry, at the high grits, but just in case. And then that way I can look it over and make sure that there's no final grind marks or little pieces I might have missed. So it's a quality assurance check in between each stage also.
Well, it came out looking fantastic.
Yeah, it's pretty much dry now.
Oh my gosh. Okay, let me take it one more time.
It's all yours.
Wow, that is so good. I went from having one really good sphere to now I have two really good spheres. So thank you so much.
You're welcome. It turned out beautiful.
Regrinding this, sharing the whole regrind process. It's always fun to catch up with somebody here on the channel that we've seen over the years, especially at shows.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunately, not everybody gets to come over here to your shop like I do. But for everybody else, we can see you both online and then also at the rock shows. Like we are in southern Utah, and you go to a lot of the shows here.
Quite a few, yeah. I try to get in about 4 or 5 shows a year. So
that's pretty good. So we have the Southern Utah Rock Show, the Rock Club show here, and then there's the upcoming one, which you're going to be at, right?
Yeah, it'll be in Ruby's Inn Hotel, which is located in Bryce Canyon City here in Utah. It'll be it's a 4-day show. It'll be from July 16th to the 19th, 2026. You can look it up online for exact hours, but I'm sure it's normal show business hours.
I will put some info in the description box of the video too about the Bryce show. If you've ever wanted to see Bryce Canyon National Park, you could both come to the show, see Rob, pick up a sphere, and then go see some red rock, some red sandstone. But
make it a double vacation.
Yeah. And don't bring him any of the sandstone from the park, all right? He's not going to sphere the sandstone for you. But
plus it's illegal.
Yeah, that too. So, sphering questions that have maybe came up. Do you have anything that you want to put out and impart in the viewers here?
Mostly the questions I kind of get are pricing, which I won't put on here because they are subject to change. I don't want somebody to see this in 3 years and think it's 2026 prices. But if you have any questions about it, just email me or message me. But a lot of the questions are, what can I do? What can't I do? I'll try to sphere anything. It's challenging when the rock is fractured. I'm always gonna say, hey, if you want that done, check it over for fractures very well. I do have a pretty good success rate with most fractures, but there is always that risk. For size-wise, I am 2-inch up to 5.5 inch, and every 1/2 inch in between I can do. So when you're looking at that rock, just break out a tape measure top to bottom, side to side. You can kind of get a rough idea what you can get out of it.
A 5-inch sphere is fairly large.
That is a pretty big sphere, yeah.
Do you have one that we could show as an example real quick?
Actually, that Thunder Egg, Canyon Rim Thunder Egg,
okay.
if you want to review back to that,
Yeah.
that is a 5-inch sphere. Just know that whatever size sphere I'm making for you, it does lose 1/8 to 1/4 of an inch during the process. So you pay for the starting size, not the finished size. I don't want it to be any smaller because it's just more work for me too. And I want to try and get you as close to what you are paying for as it is, but it will absolutely lose some size in the process.
How much size do you think we lost in this?
That one probably lost between 1/4 and 1/2 inch. It was flatter on the sides than I thought it was.
Super worth it though. Yeah. Super worth it.
So the 5 minutes estimate that I had, you didn't see it. It was off camera. It took a little bit closer to probably 12 to 15 minutes.
I'm very pleased with just having a perfect sphere, and that's like one of the cooler things about what you've done here and what you've been kind enough to share here on the channel is just all the different steps that it takes to produce something like this. So I would highly recommend come out to the Bryce show, look at the stuff on this guy's table. Now, if you live super far away, you're not going to make it. Well, there might be a video, and you can live vicariously through video format.
Absolutely. Yeah. So one more thing though.
Yeah.
I would just like to throw out an apology. When your last video came out, the beginning of 2025. I was bombarded with messages. I did not get back to everybody. I tried. Recently I went through and I noticed that I missed quite a few. I apologize for that. If you still have any questions, things have settled down. I can get back to it. But from the bottom of my heart, I apologize that I couldn't get to everything. I was absolutely overwhelmed. Good problem and a bad problem at the same time. But yeah, I appreciate all the responses, all the positive feedback, all the love I got from, explaining the process and everybody appreciating what I was showing. But I really do apologize. I did miss some messages. I'm sorry.
Well, I'm sure everybody totally understands. And thank you, everybody out there watching this, because if it wasn't for you viewing these videos, I wouldn't be able to come to places like this and see this guy's amazing shop. So I appreciate you. Thank you so much for coming along and watching this ball become a perfect sphere.
I appreciate it. Thanks, Jared.
Thank you.
Always good to see you.
It's good to see you too. You got to introduce us to your shop dog here. Hey, buddy.
My shop dog is Brady. Brady girl. She lives out here with me when I'm working.
Oh,
unless it gets too hot. Or I'm working on something that squeals. She doesn't like the high pitch.
Hey, you. Adorable.